My beloved ones, there comes a moment in every soul's journey when excuses lose their flavor. A moment when we must look in the mirror and say, enough is enough. I cannot remain the same. I will not settle for mediocrity. I will rise. This is the call to level up. This is the invitation to elevation. Too long have we leaned on reasons, explanations, and soft justifications for why we are not where we should be. Too long have we allowed fear to dictate our choices and procrastination to rob our destiny. Excuses may bring comfort for a season, but they will chain your future. And today I tell you, no more excuses, just elevation. The truth is this: greatness is never given, it is earned. And it is earned through discipline, through sacrifice, through the decision to step forward even when your legs tremble. Elevation does not happen in silence or sleep. It happens in sweat, in courage, in tears that fall but do not weaken you. It happens when you say, I will push past this moment. I will push past this weakness. I will push until the mountain moves. Do not wait for the world to hand you permission. Do not wait for applause. Do not wait for someone to call your name. You are the name. You are the moment. You are the answer you have been waiting for. When you take accountability for your own rise, nothing and no one can chain you to the ground. Yes, growth is painful. Yes, leveling up will cost you comfort. But hear me, stagnation is painful too. Regret is heavier than discipline. And the only thing worse than falling is never daring to climb at all. Shift your perspective. Stop seeing obstacles as locked doors. They are not prisons, they are thresholds. Each trial you face is shaping you. Each struggle is chiseling away your excuses, carving out the stronger, wiser, braver you. If you keep walking, if you keep pressing, you will see the reward of your resilience. And remember this: success is not in the big leaps, but in the small, consistent steps that no one sees. When you wake up and choose discipline, when you practice the craft, when you stay committed though no applause sounds, you are building an unshakable foundation. One day the world will see what your daily choices have been secretly constructing all along. So rise. Rise above your excuses. Rise above your weakness. Rise above your old version. Do not negotiate with your limitations. They do not belong to the future you are building. Force yourself to level up because no one else can do it for you. My beloved ones, elevation is not just a destination, it is a decision, and that decision begins today. No more waiting, no more fear, no more excuses, just elevation, just rising, just becoming everything you were destined to be. There is a choice that every person must make, a choice so simple yet so life-defining. Will you live by discipline or will you live by excuses? One will build you, the other will break you. One will lift you to heights you never dreamed, the other will anchor you to mediocrity. Excuses may soothe you in the moment, but they betray you in the end. Discipline may hurt in the beginning, but it rewards you for a lifetime. Excuses come dressed in convincing words. They whisper softly, you are too tired today. You will start tomorrow. This isn't the right time. You are not ready yet. They sound like comfort, but they are lies that rob you of your strength. They sound gentle, but they are thieves of destiny. Every excuse is a brick in the wall that separates you from the life you could have lived. Discipline, on the other hand, has a different voice. It is not soft or seductive. It is firm, sometimes demanding. It does not comfort you in laziness. It pulls you out of it. Discipline tells you, do it now. Push yourself further, wake up early. Put the work in when no one is watching. Keep going when your body says stop. And though it may feel heavy, discipline is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. Think about it. Every success story you have ever admired, every leader, every innovator, every person who has left a mark on this earth, none of them were built on excuses. They were built on discipline. They rose not because it was easy, not because they always felt motivated, but because they trained themselves to choose consistency over comfort. They understood that discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. Excuses feed your weakness, but discipline feeds your strength. Excuses keep you trapped in cycles of regret, but discipline frees you to live with pride and purpose. Excuses tell you what you cannot do. Discipline shows you what you can. When you live by excuses, you surrender your power. When you live by discipline, you reclaim it. Understand this: your dreams will not wait for you. Opportunities will not stand at your door forever. Life rewards those who are ready, those who are prepared, those who have built the habits and the mindset to step forward when the moment comes. Excuses will make you miss your moment. Discipline will make sure you are ready when it arrives. Discipline is not just about work, it is about character. It is choosing to do the right thing even when no one is watching. It is waking up when the alarm clock rings, not pressing snooze because the bed feels warm. It is saying no to distractions that steal your focus. It is saying yes to growth even when it is uncomfortable. Discipline sharpens you, molds you, transforms you into a version of yourself that excuses could never allow you to meet. There is a price for both discipline and excuses. Discipline costs you effort, sweat, and sacrifice. Excuses cost you opportunities, dreams, and peace of mind. And the truth is this: you will pay a price either way. But the price of discipline weighs ounces, while the price of regret weighs tons. Which weight do you want to carry? Every time you choose discipline, you are planting seeds for a future harvest. You may not see the results immediately, but the roots are growing. The foundation is strengthening, day by day. You are building a structure that will stand when storms come. Excuses, however, are like weeds. They grow fast, they look harmless, but they choke the life out of everything you have planted. You cannot wait for motivation to come knocking, because motivation is unreliable. Some days you will feel strong, some days you will feel weak. Some days you will be inspired, other days you will feel nothing at all. That is why discipline must lead and motivation must follow. Discipline shows up when motivation is absent. Discipline works in silence. While motivation waits for the spotlight, motivation is fleeting, but discipline is eternal. And here is the beautiful truth: the more you practice discipline, the less room there is for excuses. The stronger your habits become, the weaker your temptations feel. What once seemed impossible becomes natural. What once felt heavy becomes light. Discipline rewires not just your actions, but your identity. It turns "I want to be" into "I am." So ask yourself today, will you keep making excuses, or will you start making progress? Will you allow your feelings to dictate your future, or will you command your feelings to serve your future? Will you live in the shadow of what could have been, or will you rise into the light of what can still be? Do not wait for the perfect time. There is no such thing. Do not wait for everything to feel right. Feelings are fleeting. Choose discipline now, in this moment, in this breath. Start where you are with what you have, and refuse to let another excuse hold you back. Your destiny is too important to be delayed. Your potential is too valuable to be wasted. Your future self is waiting for you to stop making excuses and start living with discipline. And when that future self meets you one day, they will thank you, not for the excuses you made, but for the discipline you kept. Excuses may feel safe, but they are a slow death. Discipline may feel demanding, but it is the pathway to life, growth, and freedom. Choose wisely. Choose boldly. Choose discipline over excuses. For in that choice lies the key to your elevation, your breakthrough, and your true becoming. There comes a point in life when we must stop waiting for someone else to hold us accountable, when we must stop expecting the world to check on us, remind us, or rescue us. The truth is this: no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to drag you into your destiny. Accountability to self is the highest form of responsibility, and until you learn to carry it, your growth will always be in someone else's hands. Too many people live with the illusion that progress will happen when the right mentor appears, when the right opportunity knocks, or when someone else pushes them forward. But life does not work that way. The world does not pause to make sure you are keeping pace. Success does not wait for your excuses to expire. If you do not take ownership of your journey, you will watch your potential wither while waiting for a savior who never comes. Accountability to self is about facing the mirror and saying, "I am the reason. I am the answer. I am the one who decides how far I go." It is no longer blaming your childhood, your circumstances, or your environment. It is no longer saying, "I would have been better if someone had helped me." Accountability to self is the courage to admit that your choices, your habits, and your mindset are shaping your life right now. It is easy to point the finger at others. It is easy to say, they didn't support me, they didn't believe in me, they didn't open the door for me. But accountability asks a harder question. Did I support myself? Did I believe in myself? Did I keep knocking when the door didn't open? This is where true growth begins. When you stop shifting the weight of responsibility and start carrying it on your own shoulders. The danger of relying on others to keep you accountable is that their voices will eventually fade. Their reminders will grow quiet, but your inner voice will never leave you. You hear it when you wake in the morning, when you skip the work you promised to do, when you settle for less than you are capable of. That voice asks, why didn't you push harder? Why didn't you keep your word? And until you learn to respect that voice, you will always wrestle with regret. Accountability to self is about making promises to your soul and keeping them. It is telling yourself, I will show up, I will put in the effort, I will not betray my own potential. Because when you break promises to yourself, you weaken trust in your own word. But when you keep them, something powerful happens. You start to believe in your own strength. You start to trust your own commitment. You become unstoppable, not because life got easier, but because you stopped running from responsibility. No one can train your discipline for you. No one can lift your weights, write your book, build your business, or heal your heart in your place. Others may inspire you, but they cannot live for you. Accountability to self means you stop outsourcing your effort and start owning your results. If you fail, you own it. If you succeed, you own that too. There is freedom in that honesty because it puts the pen of your story back in your hands. Accountability also demands consistency. It is not enough to be responsible for yourself once in a while. True accountability is daily, even hourly. It is checking yourself when you want to quit, reminding yourself why you started, and refusing to compromise when excuses come whispering. Accountability is not glamorous. It is often silent, lonely, and unseen. But it is in those unseen moments that strength is built. It is easy to dream. It is harder to discipline yourself to chase that dream. It is easy to start. It is harder to hold yourself accountable long enough to finish. Dreams without accountability dissolve into fantasy. But dreams anchored in responsibility grow into reality. The beautiful thing about accountability is that it doesn't just build achievement, it builds integrity. When you hold yourself accountable, you live with honesty. You stop pretending to be a victim of life and start becoming an architect of it. You stop running from your mistakes and start learning from them. You stop waiting for someone to check in on you because you have already checked in on yourself. And here lies the secret. Accountability to self is not punishment, it is empowerment. It means you no longer need permission to grow. You no longer wait for approval to begin. You no longer rely on someone else's watchful eye to keep you in line. You rise because you said you would. You persist because you promised yourself you would not quit. You win because you held yourself accountable when no one else was watching. So I ask you, what have you been delaying because you are waiting for someone to push you? What vision has been collecting dust because you keep blaming circumstances instead of owning your choices? How long will you wait for someone else to be responsible for your life? The day you decide to hold yourself accountable is the day you stop waiting and start moving. Do not underestimate the power of this decision. The strongest people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they have mastered this principle. They rise before others because they hold themselves accountable to their goals. They persist through failure because they refuse to break their own promises. They climb higher not because life is easier for them, but because their accountability to self is unshakable. The truth is, accountability to self is the foundation of freedom. When you take ownership of your life, you stop being a prisoner of excuses. You stop being a victim of delay. You stop being dependent on the motivation of others. You begin to walk in authority over your own journey. So rise. Look in the mirror and declare, I am responsible for me. I am responsible for my growth, my discipline, my future. No one else will carry this for me. I will carry it myself. And when you begin to live that truth, you will discover a power inside of you that no excuse can weaken, no failure can destroy, and no obstacle can break. Accountability to self is not just a principle, it is a way of living. It is the difference between potential wasted and potential realized. It is the difference between waiting for life to happen and deciding to make life happen. Choose accountability. Choose ownership. Choose to be the reason your future shines. Growth is not gentle. Growth is not easy. Growth does not arrive wrapped in comfort or coated in sweetness. Growth comes with stretching, with breaking, with discomfort that shakes you to your core. But hear me, this is not the pain of destruction. This is the pain of becoming. If you run from it, you will remain the same. If you embrace it, you will rise into a stronger, wiser, more powerful version of yourself. Too often we pray for strength but resist the very struggle that produces it. We ask for wisdom but avoid the experiences that teach it. We long for elevation but reject the weight that comes with climbing. Growth has always carried pain because it requires you to leave behind what is familiar. It demands you shed old habits, release old excuses, and step into places that test your faith and resilience. There is no advancement without discomfort. Think of a seed buried in the ground. It must split open before it can sprout. That breaking is painful, but without it, there is no life above the soil. Think of muscles in the human body. They must be torn slightly through resistance before they grow stronger. That tearing hurts, but it is necessary for strength. Growth has always required pain, but that pain is never wasted. The tragedy is that many people spend their lives running from the very discomfort that could transform them. They seek the path of least resistance, the road of safety, the comfort zone that promises ease. But what they don't realize is that comfort zones are prisons. They lock you in a cycle where nothing changes, where you wake up year after year the same person, living the same life, never touching the potential inside you. The pain of growth is temporary, but the pain of regret is eternal. You will never regret the seasons where you stretched yourself, where you pressed beyond your limits, where you endured hardship to become more. But you will regret the years wasted avoiding that stretch, hiding from that challenge, numbing yourself instead of facing the fire. The question is not whether you will feel pain in life. The question is which pain you will choose. The pain of discipline and growth, or the pain of regret and stagnation. When you embrace the pain of growth, something remarkable happens. You begin to see obstacles not as enemies but as opportunities. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That shift changes everything. Suddenly, the challenges that once broke you become the very tools that build you. The storms that once frightened you become the winds that push you higher. Growth also requires patience. The transformation does not happen overnight. Pain stretches across seasons. There will be days when you question why you are enduring, why you keep pressing when the reward seems far away. But every season of pressure is preparing you. Just as diamonds are formed under extreme pressure, your greatness is being formed in your discomfort. You may not see it now, but in time you will look back and realize every tear, every struggle, every sleepless night was carving you into who you were meant to be. Do not despise the process. Do not curse the breaking. The pain of growth is proof that you are alive, that you are moving, that you are not standing still. It is proof that you are evolving beyond what you used to be. And though it hurts, it is a holy pain, a purposeful pain, a pain that will one day give birth to joy. Consider this: every time you rise after falling, you stretch your resilience. Every time you press forward when tired, you sharpen your endurance. Every time you choose patience instead of quitting, you strengthen your spirit. Growth hurts because it asks more of you than you thought you had. But it also shows you that you are more capable than you ever believed. There will be people who do not understand your willingness to endure this pain. They will ask why you keep striving, why you don't settle for what is easy. But they cannot see what you see. They cannot feel what you feel. They do not understand that within the pain lies the promise. You must not expect them to carry your vision. They cannot. It is yours, and it will demand your endurance. So do not resist the fire. Walk through it. Do not fear the breaking. Let it shape you. Do not run from the weight. Carry it until it strengthens you. Embrace the pain of growth because it is sculpting you into a masterpiece that comfort could never create. When the pain is great, remind yourself this is not where the story ends. This is not the breaking of me, but the making of me. This is not destruction, but construction. Every tear, every scar, every hardship is building a foundation for the life I am destined to live. One day, you will look back on the pain you are facing now and realize it was the very thing that elevated you. You will see that the moments you thought would break you were the ones that built you. You will see that the pain you embraced was the doorway to strength, wisdom, and victory. So embrace it. Embrace the stretch. Embrace the discomfort. Embrace the struggle. Do not fear the pain of growth. It is the evidence of your becoming. Let it do its work in you. And when it is finished, you will rise, not broken, not defeated, but refined, renewed, and unstoppable. Life has never been about what happens to you. It has always been about how you see it. The same event that breaks one person can build another. The same challenge that makes one soul bitter can make another soul wise. The difference is not the weight of the burden, but the lens through which it is viewed. Perspective is the quiet architect of destiny, and when you shift it, you shift everything. Many people live trapped not because their circumstances are impossible, but because their vision is limited. They see obstacles as walls rather than doors. They see setbacks as endings rather than beginnings. They see pain as punishment rather than preparation. The truth is, life will not always change to fit your comfort, but you can always change the way you look at it. And when you do, the very things that once looked like enemies can become your teachers. Perspective is power. When you see failure as final, you stop trying. But when you see failure as feedback, you grow. When you see rejection as a sign of unworthiness, you shrink. But when you see rejection as redirection, you discover paths you never would have walked. Life is not against you. It is guiding you, shaping you, pushing you toward places your current self may not yet understand. Think about this. A storm to a sailor is not the same as a storm to a farmer. To the sailor, it may mean danger, but to the farmer, it may mean blessing. The storm is the same, but the perspective changes its meaning. So it is with your life. The events may be outside of your control, but the meaning you assign to them is entirely in your hands. And meaning is what determines whether you rise or whether you remain. A perspective shift does not require your entire situation to change. It requires your mind to change. You may still be in the valley, but if you start to see the valley as training ground, the valley no longer feels like a prison. You may still face rejection, but if you start to see rejection as protection from what is not for you, rejection no longer wounds your spirit. When your perspective changes, your spirit finds hope even in dark places. This is why gratitude is so powerful. Gratitude does not erase struggle, but it shifts perspective. Instead of focusing only on what is missing, you start to see what remains. Instead of resenting the weight, you begin to thank life for the strength it is building in you. Gratitude opens your eyes to the blessings hidden in ordinary days, and it reminds you that even in trial, there is still something to be thankful for. Perspective also has the power to release you from comparison. When your vision is small, you look at others and measure your worth against theirs. You see their success as proof of your failure, their rise as your decline. But when your perspective shifts, you realize that your journey is uniquely yours. You realize that another's blessing does not cancel your own. You understand that there is space for everyone to grow and that your time will come as long as you keep moving. The mind is a battlefield, and perspective is often the difference between victory and defeat. If you focus only on how far you have left to go, you may feel overwhelmed and give up. But if you shift perspective and look at how far you have already come, you find fuel to keep pressing forward. If you view challenges as unfair, you become bitter. But if you see them as tools, you become better. Every great transformation begins with a shift in perspective. The person who rises out of poverty is the one who refuses to see lack as permanent. The person who recovers from heartbreak is the one who chooses to see pain as a teacher rather than a life sentence. The person who builds greatness from nothing is the one who looks at nothing and still sees possibility. You cannot always control your circumstances, but you can always control your perspective. That choice is yours every single day. Will you see this as an ending or a beginning? Will you view this as punishment or preparation? Will you call it a setback or a setup? Whatever perspective you choose will determine the quality of your response and the outcome of your story. Perspective also requires humility. Sometimes we must admit that our view is too small, too limited. What we thought was a curse may turn out to be a blessing. What we thought was the worst moment of our lives may later reveal itself as the turning point. Life has a way of revealing meaning in hindsight, but wisdom teaches us to trust the process even when we cannot yet see it. So shift your perspective. Stop magnifying the problem and start magnifying the possibility. Stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? What can I learn? How can I grow? Instead of saying, this mountain is too high, begin to say, this climb will make me stronger. Instead of declaring, I cannot endure this storm, declare, this storm will teach me how to sail. The world may not change overnight, but when your perspective changes, your world does. You begin to walk lighter, see clearer, and hope brighter. You begin to recognize that life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. You begin to understand that every challenge carries within it the seed of transformation, and perspective is the water that makes it bloom. And when you learn to shift your perspective, nothing can defeat you, because no matter what life throws your way, you will find a way to see the lesson, the growth, the hidden blessing. You will stop being a victim of your situation and become a master of your vision. So choose today to see differently. Choose to see possibility where others see problems. Choose to see growth where others see grief. Choose to see strength where others see struggle. Your perspective is the lens through which your destiny is revealed. Shift it and watch your life shift with it. Power does not come from what you do once in a while. Power is not found in bursts of inspiration that fade after a day. True power is built in the quiet repetition of daily choices. Consistency is power. It is the hidden force that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. It is the steady rhythm that separates wishful thinking from living achievement. Many people underestimate consistency because it does not look dramatic, it is not glamorous, it does not shout or demand attention. It is simple, often silent, and easily overlooked, but do not mistake silence for weakness. Consistency is a giant disguised in small steps. It is the reason why a dripping drop of water can carve through stone, why a seed nurtured daily becomes a tree, why a disciplined life produces a legacy. Consistency requires patience. Too often we want instant results. We plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. We go to the gym once and expect transformation in the mirror. We work on our dream for a week and wonder why the world has not noticed. But growth does not bow to impatience. Progress belongs to those who stay faithful when results seem invisible. Consistency demands that you keep showing up even when nothing appears to be happening. Because something is happening. It is just happening underground, in the unseen places where roots take hold. It is not the grand gestures, but the daily habits that determine the direction of your life. Waking up early each morning to work on your craft, choosing discipline over distraction, making small improvements every single day. These are the bricks that build greatness. Consistency may feel repetitive, but repetition is what strengthens muscles, sharpens skills, and deepens wisdom. Greatness is not built in a single act, it is built in the collection of small acts done with persistence. Think of an artist who paints one stroke at a time, a writer who adds one page a day, an athlete who trains one practice after another. Alone, each effort looks small, almost insignificant, but when you string them together over weeks, months, years, you witness a masterpiece, a book, a champion. The world applauds the result. But the power was always in the consistency that made it possible. Consistency is also a test of character. Anyone can be motivated for a moment. Anyone can commit when the fire is fresh, when excitement is high, when the crowd is cheering. But can you stay committed when the applause fades? Can you keep pressing forward when the journey feels dull, when the progress is slow, when no one is watching? That is where consistency separates the dreamers from the doers. You see, discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthrough. But momentum cannot exist without consistency. Imagine pushing a heavy wheel. At first it barely moves, but with each push, it rolls a little further, a little faster. One day it moves with ease. That is the power of consistency. It turns resistance into flow. But if you stop pushing, the wheel slows, and all the effort you invested is lost. That is why quitting and restarting again and again will always cost more than simply remaining steady. Consistency is not perfection. You will stumble, you will fall, you will have days when you feel weak. But consistency means getting back up, recommitting, and pressing forward again. It means refusing to let one bad day become a bad week, or one bad week become a lost year. The secret is not never falling. The secret is never staying down. Consistency also builds trust. When you are consistent with yourself, you prove to your own soul that your word is reliable. You show yourself that you can be counted on, even when it is difficult. That builds confidence. And when others see your consistency, they begin to trust you too. They see that your actions align with your words, that your promises are not empty. Consistency turns intentions into credibility. Understand this. Success is not about intensity, it is about longevity. Anyone can sprint for a short distance, but consistency is what allows you to run the marathon. The ones who endure, the ones who finish, the ones who cross the line with victory are not the ones who started the fastest. They are the ones who never stopped moving. So do not despise the days of small progress. Do not underestimate the impact of daily commitment. Each step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your vision. Each habit you maintain is shaping the person you are becoming. Consistency is power because it transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary destiny. Ask yourself, are you willing to keep showing up? Are you willing to keep practicing when the results are hidden? Are you willing to keep believing when no one else notices? Because if you are, then you carry within you the unstoppable force of consistency, and that force will open doors that talent alone cannot open. It will build bridges that opportunity alone cannot build. One day, when the world looks at your life, they will not just see the flashes of brilliance, they will see the steady flame that never went out. They will see the years of work that built an overnight success. They will see the evidence of quiet power, the kind that only consistency can create. So remain steady, remain faithful, keep building, keep working, keep pressing. Do not measure yourself by how quickly you rise, but by how faithfully you endure. For consistency is the true measure of strength, and strength is the foundation of greatness. Consistency is power. Do not let it slip from your hands. Embrace it, practice it, live it, and you will become unstoppable. Limitations are everywhere. Some are placed on us by society, some are whispered to us by people who cannot see our vision, and some are built quietly within our own minds. They come in the form of doubts, fears, lack of resources, or the weight of past mistakes. But hear this truth: limitations are not final. They are not walls that cannot be broken. They are tests, illusions, and challenges designed to reveal the strength you carry within. To rise beyond limitations is to refuse to let them write the end of your story. The first battle against limitation begins in the mind. The greatest prison is not made of steel or stone, but of belief. When you tell yourself, "I cannot," you chain yourself before even trying. When you believe that your background, your failures, or your struggles disqualify you, you have already surrendered. Rising beyond limitations requires a shift in mindset. A decision to see possibility where others see impossibility, to see potential where others see only barriers. History is full of people who rose beyond what others called impossible. Innovators who built something from nothing. Leaders who rose from poverty to power. Survivors who turned pain into purpose. Their stories remind us that limitations are not the end, they are the beginning of greatness. The question is not whether you have limitations. The question is whether you will allow them to define you. Rising beyond limitations does not mean pretending they do not exist. It means facing them head-on with courage. It means acknowledging the difficulty, the lack, the weakness, and still choosing to rise anyway. It means saying, "Yes, this mountain is steep, but I will climb it. Yes, this burden is heavy, but I will carry it. Yes, this journey is long, but I will endure it." Limitations are not denied, they are defied. Sometimes the loudest limitations are the voices around you. People may say, "You cannot do this, you are not enough. Stay where you are." But their words are rooted in their own fears, their own failures, their own lack of vision. If you allow their limitations to become your limitations, you will shrink to fit their small expectations.